Hello, my name is Ari Chen. I am the co-CEO of Eclipse Glow Games and the game director of Tides of Annihilation. Tides of Annihilation tells a story inspired by Arthurian legend. However, we did not want simply to reproduce the existing mythology of King Arthur in its entirety. We wanted to approach it from the perspective of Chinese developers and transform it into a fantasy game. Although the game is based on Arthurian legend, the entire story has been reinterpreted from our perspective as developers.
Gwendolyn's background is one of the main elements of the game's story, so I can reveal a little about who she is at the beginning of the game. At the start, Gwendolyn is an ordinary person from the modern world, who becomes caught up in the disaster caused by an invasion from another dimension. As a modern person, she's thrown into a hostile and malicious other world. While she's there, she receives encouragement from her companions and gradually grows into a commander capable of leading the knights.
Use it to command your spectral knights.
We wanted to present a point at which the game has settled into a relatively stable rhythm, and the combat systems are being used more fully. As a result, the section being shown takes place around the middle of the game, and features a relatively high level of combat intensity.
Combat is at the heart of the experience, because this is ultimately an action game. We want as many players as possible to experience the enjoyment of action games when they play it. For that reason, we have carefully refined the combat system. This includes the Knight system, which gives players access to a greater variety of character builds. Players can combine these elements to create many different combat styles.
The concept we developed is something I call the dual frontline battle system. This system allows the protagonist to fight alongside the knights she summons, working together with them in battle. I wanted to introduce more companions into combat, so that the player would no longer feel alone and would have the sense that other characters were actively supporting them. Our game is primarily an action-adventure game, so it has two central elements. The first is, of course, combat. The other is exploring and adventuring through another world. The adventure side of the game also builds on the important feature of the combat system, the knights. During exploration, the knights provide the protagonist with a wide range of abilities and assistance. The main purpose of exploration is ultimately to support the combat experience. At its core, combat remains the game's most distinctive feature. Exploration gives players additional resources, more room for error, and a wider variety of builds to discover and develop. To give an example of how the knights fight, we currently have the main knight, Bedivere. His design is centered on speed and fluid connectivity, allowing players to perform combinations easily and smoothly. He therefore has linked light and heavy attacks. Palamedes, the first knight, is primarily built around charged attacks, so the player has to recognize and take advantage of the right opportunities. And Kay, the time knight, needs to deploy time bombs at crucial moments. These can interrupt enemy attacks and also temporarily stop time. Each of our knights has therefore been carefully designed. We wanted each knight to feel different to control and to offer the player a distinct kind of enjoyment.
How is this possible?
This is the first time we're formally introducing the knight Lancelot. He's a very important character within the game's story, and he also has a highly distinctive presence during combat. He can closely follow Gwendolyn's movements and perform coordinated attacks with her, creating the feeling of a sword dance between the two.
With Tides of Annihilation, our hope is that our first project as a studio will be recognized by players within the action game genre. We hope that, in the eyes of players, our finished work will be considered a worthy and accomplished action-adventure game.
Damn sorceresses.
As for when the game will be completed, I think we simply need to continue working harder so that we can finish it and bring it to players as soon as possible.
Thank you all for your interest in Tides of Annihilation. We sincerely hope that players will enjoy the game when it comes to PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. Thank you.